Hello and welcome back to manvfilm. It's time for another review from the awesome Second Sight, another French extreme movie. This time it is Inside from 2007. Now this is one I had heard about, I had never really watched, so I was eager to check it out, and it has some nice things that I kind of like about it. It's set on Christmas Eve, so technically you can look at it as a Christmas movie of sorts. I suppose it is roughly about family, and it is yeah, very interesting. But before we get into the movie, let's have a look at the contents of this limited edition package.
So here is Second Sight Films' release of Inside. We'll take off this J card. As always, it lists all the special features and limited edition contents. We have the hard box as usual here with this stunning design and the infamous scissors on the back. The box is, as usual, sturdy as we look at the Blu Ray itself. Simple disc, there's no inner artwork. Then we have the contents of the booklet, which has several articles, including one by Kat Ellinger as well. As we flick through it, you'll see there is a wealth of material included in here. There are some behind the scenes pictures, but it's mostly text that kind of looks into the thematics of the film, and some interesting ideas included in this as well. There are 6 art cards also included in this set that kind of rounds out the limited edition contents, and here they are, all here for your perusal.
Sarah, at the start of this movie, is a young woman travelling who gets in a car crash. She is 5 months pregnant. In this car crash, she loses her husband. She gets some scars on her face. She is going through the final kind of months of pregnancy and coming to terms with the loss of a loved one and the fact she's going to be bringing this last remaining legacy of her husband into life.
C'est des foutaises, ce qu'on vous raconte ici.
Goodness.
She's not in the best mental state. She wants to be alone. She just wants to be kind of left in peace to kind of, mourn her husband still. And at night, she notices someone watching her. Some woman is kind of stalking her. She phones the police. The woman breaks into the house eventually and starts to stalk her this night, chasing down this pregnant woman and torturing her. And it's such a weird and impactful movie because it's got these really intense moments of suspense and terror. There is a wonderful moment after we know there is a woman somewhere, after the police have been and checked out the house, where she's just kind of sitting on the couch, and in the shadows behind her is this wonderful reveal of the woman just watching, waiting, carefully, just taking her time. And this pretty quickly from subtle suspense and tension into something far more vicious, gory and visceral, in your face gore. It becomes a living nightmare for Sarah as she is tortured, as this woman tries to rip the baby from her. What the film does really well is it takes this really interesting narrative. It takes a woman who's been through a great deal of trauma and then just compounds it even more, throwing more atrocities and tense situations and just horrible things on top of this woman who's already at breaking point. And it does it through a minimal setting. It does it through a novel way of bringing characters into this household to be dispatched quickly in a terrifically bloody fashion.
Écoutez, je vais vous enlever les ciseaux. Bougez pas.
There are moments where it is squeamish and gore-fueled, or just horrible situations that make you recoil in horror. It does a terrific job of pushing the buttons, and I think it really achieves that through the horrible, inciting incident and how we see Sarah coping with the aftermath of that grief. As it moves forward into sheer terror and survival, it becomes even more horrific and abhorrent throughout it. I think this is a terrifically tense and suspenseful movie that's filled with ridiculous amounts of gore, heightened sense of suspense and tension, and it's just a wonderfully thrilling, exciting film. That's not to say there is a kind of happy, cheerful movie. It's one of the French extreme movies. It is deplorable in certain senses, but the movie looks terrific. It has this wonderfully, really icky feeling gore at times, and a really interesting narrative that changes throughout the telling of this story, which I found to be wonderfully inventive at a certain point, which I won't go into. Let's dive into the extras and see what is in store here. Here we are in the disc for Inside. Let's go to the extra features. We have a commentary by Anna Bogotskaya. We have a second commentary by Elena Lazik. Then we have Firstborn, an interview with the co-writer directors, which is 31 minutes 27 seconds. They kind of talk about coming together, realising they had similar tastes, and a year later shooting their first movie. The idea of collaboration and how it works for them in the creative process. Then you have Labour Pains, an interview with actor Alison Paradis. This is 14 minutes 50 seconds. It kind of gives an insight into her idea of what genre was before starting this, and how the audition process worked for her, and the idea of choreography and how they kind of worked on it for a long period of time to make sure everything was perfect. We have a new extreme, an interview with the producer, Frank Ribéret, which is 22 minutes and 1 second. He talks about working with his wife, who was a co-producer, getting the script and working together with the guys, and then taking it to festivals and ultimately selling the film. Then we have Womb Raider, interview with cinematographer Laurent Barres, which is 19 minutes 10 seconds. He's quite funny because he talks about initially not getting the job and his reaction to that before ultimately being brought on to the project. Then we have Real Action, interview with stunt coordinator Emmanuel Lanzi. This is 14 minutes 33 seconds. I really like this guy because he was very positive, and you could tell he had a real passion about his job, and it comes across in the way he's talking about it and how he got his start in the business and some of the movies that he worked on. Then we have The Birth of the Mother, Jen Adams on Inside, which is 14 minutes 56 seconds. It's a visual essay all about the ideal of motherhood and the thematics that come out throughout the film. I thought it was enlightening and really just a kind of emphasis on the film and its ideas, and really kind of enriched it for me. I thought it was a great visual essay, and that's the on-disc extras for Inside. There we have it. Inside is out now from Second Sight Films. I would strongly recommend picking this one up. It was pretty terrific. If you don't want to learn any more about it, I would say go in knowing as little as possible, because it's really exciting once you get to that latter half as well, after the build-up and the kind of reveal of what's happening. It has some wonderful set pieces. I would love to know your thoughts on Inside if you have seen it, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. Can't wait to read your thoughts on this one. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.